Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this, our 27th Pinstripe Faithful Autograph Card Show. I want to give a couple quick thanks. Number one, to our dealers who are setting up. We always pride ourselves as this being the largest one-day autograph card show in the state of Iowa. I need to shout out a couple dealers that have been with us for over 20 years. Where is the bearded one over there? Craig Wallstrom, been with us over 20 years. Dennis Solomon, down as partner, Dennis Solomon, over 20 years. Dave Donahue, right up front here, over 20 years. And in the back, D. David Orr, raise your hand out of Dubuque. And all these other great dealers, we appreciate it very much. You know, we're really glad to have our featured guest return to the place where it all started, right here in Waterloo, Iowa. In 1993, when he was playing for the Waterloo Diamonds, and for some of you younger people, the Waterloo Diamonds is not the North League Wood Bat League. That was actually professional baseball, and he got it started right here. As many former Waterloo players went on to win national or World Series titles. Louis Aparicio played in Waterloo, won a World Series title. Norm Cash, World Series title with the Royals. Any of you remember Willie Wilson, Reggie Smith? They won it. But Homer is the only one from Waterloo to win it for the New York Yankees. And you don't think our group's happy about that? Damn right. All right. In his rookie season, he got traded from the Padres to the Yankees in 1997, and he debuted with the Yankees. That year, he hit .364 with the Yankees. The following year, he was a key member of the 1998 World Series champion Yankees, where when called upon, he hit .380. Now, us Yankee fans, we'd kill for anybody this year that would hit .380, but he hit .380 for them, in addition to having a 97% fielding performance in the field. That team that year had 114 wins and 48 losses. They went on to the playoffs. They beat the Rangers 3 straight. They got revenge against the Indians, who beat them out in 97, and then they went to the World Series and swept the Padres 4 straight. So how good was that 98 team? They had 125 wins, only 50 losses, which is now still an all-time Major League record, and he was a key member of that. Now, how good was it? Time Magazine put it on their cover. Best team ever. And if you really look close, you'll see Homer's leg right there in that picture. So anyway, we would like to welcome back to Waterloo, Iowa, World Series champ 1998 star Homer Bush.
Well, thank you, Charlie. Man, I might have to take you on the road with me. Maybe you sound like a real baseball player. But I will say, coming back to Waterloo does feel like a homecoming for me. Charlie touched on it. After the 93 season I played here at Waterloo, my career took off. And I have to tell you guys, it was like an out-of-body experience. You know, I was having like a linear trajectory type career. You know, my career was taking off, things were happening, like I couldn't believe it, you know. And I signed a picture the other day that said, from Waterloo, Iowa to the 1998 New York Yankees. And it felt just like that. Like I woke up and I was in Yankee Stadium and we're in the World Series. That 98 team was special. You know, the wins were one thing, but the group of guys that I was with, there's so many backstories about that 98 team. Of course, getting the opportunity to play with Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, Chili Davis, Andy Pettit. So played with some special people, some special players that went on to do great things in baseball. But what was really cool for me was I had an older brother who was a big baseball fan. And remember, think about this. You're talking to your older brother or one of your older siblings about baseball when you're like 12, 14 years old, and he's saying, man, you gotta play like Rock Raines and, you know, hit like Strawberry and, you know, guys like Chili Davis. And I actually played with all those guys. Come on, it does not get any better than that. You know, I was telling a story last night that in '97, when I was traded over, they sent me to AAA, where Darryl Strawberry came down to AAA like on a rehab assignment. When I got called up, Darryl and I were on the same flight because he was going back up to New York as well. And so when we got on the plane, we were in first class, we were the first seats to the left. He had the whole plane backed up because people was asking for his autograph. The pilot had to go, you know, and say, hey guys, we gotta take off. Sorry, catch him another time. I'm experiencing this live. That's crazy when you really think about it. So, no, you know, like I say, there's just so many cool things. One of my favorites, another one of my favorite stories about the '98 season, and I have two, and I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. I'm not gonna take a ton more time. So I played with Derek Jeter, '97, '98. Now he was a star. He was very popular. So I was traded when Roger Clemens came in. They went on to win a few more championships. Should have been mine. But when I came back in 2004, Derek was a megastar. I mean, real funny story. You remember when Derek slid to third base and the catcher hurt his shoulder? Huckabee, I believe, is the catcher. Anyway, Huckabee went to the media and said, hey, he said, hey, I tried to call Derek. Derek didn't take my call. Derek was like, he didn't try to call me. He's like, he doesn't have my number. And he looked over at me and he said, homie, do you have my number? I was like, no, I don't have your number. He was just that popular where, you know, he had to watch out who had his number. So, and he was a great teammate, loved being around, special individual for sure. You can't script a career like Derek Jeter's career. I mean, think about that. It's 3,000 hit was a home run. Played 20 years in the majors, Hall of Fame. Just a really good guy. And so, you know, I really enjoyed that time spent with him. I tell my son all the time, just play like Derek Jeter and you'll make a lot of money in this game. So, but when you think about that '98 season, you think about all those wins, you think like, oh man, those guys were cruising. Not really. It was just as stressful as if we were playing 500 baseball. We were actually down a lot of those games and had to come back from behind. So then you get into the postseason, every series was tight. You had the guys on the bench, you know, chomping to get into the game. So we're pushing the starter. So it was just, you know, just stress-filled all the way around. But I will say this though. You know, I played with a lot of childhood idols on that team and some guys that grew up to be, you know, to be superstars. But I had this one encounter with Joe Torre. So we get towards the end of the season, I was feeling myself a little bit. I will admit, I was hitting 380. I wanted to play more, so my focus just wasn't there. So he put me in, say in Baltimore, game 1, made a mistake on the bases. It took 3 singles to score me, and he said, Bushy, I could have left Chili Davis in there to do that. So the next day, Shane Spencer, I know you remember Shane Spencer, home run tear. I mean, this guy looked at the ball and went over the fence. He hit the ball, it hits up the top of the wall, bounced back in, and I'm just kind of running from first to second, like a home run trot. And Woody ran off, he's like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Uh-oh, so I take off, slide. Everybody's standing up to greet me in the dugout, so Joe Torre was sitting down. Usually Joe would get up. I knew then I had screwed up. I knew I was in trouble. So he said, hey, what happened? I said, Joe, I thought it was home run. He He was like, no you didn't, because it wasn't a home run. Like, come on, get it together. So of course, I'm feeling a little embarrassed, because he talked to me a little bit more, a little aggressive than that. But when we walk onto the field to shake hands at the end of the game, he said to me, he put his arms around me, he said, Bushy, now is the time I need you. And I knew then it was going to take all 25 guys to win the championship. So I embraced my role more, and that's one of my favorite stories. All right? Thanks for having me, good people. Good talking. Have a good time.